but the body knows, the brain knows exactly. The body knows how to breathe. It knows, the heart knows how to beat autonomically. They call it autonomically, right? Autonomic nervous system. The same with our thinking and deal with the food. We'll know. Look at animals in the wilderness. They know what to eat or how much to eat, right? They know. And the same with us. We know intuitively. But when we made a decision to get in the way of it, we have to look at really what happened to a lot of us, the corporations and their advertisements. So we had to realize that we took it upon ourselves to believe that. And the advertisements tell you to make food your higher power. Everything about the colorful foods and what they put in it, and the poisons they put in it, go into your brain, and they actually release endorphins and make you feel good when they're not supposed to. It's putting bad gas in your car. Would you put bad gas in your car? So again, to rejoice. So when we're in a diet, we're not rejoicing. Whenever I went on a strict diet, I was miserable every day. So now, no matter where you are with your compulsion towards food, whichever way you're going with it, we can rejoice and be happy. If we're going to compulse about overeating, I'm undereating, whatever you're doing in relationship, or I'm gambling too much, or I have to get this person to like me, I have to do better work, I have to make more money, more success, then we're off track, because again, we're making it very small and finite. And then all of a sudden we wonder why we're so miserable. And because it's never enough. No matter how much we get of a particular addiction, whether it's drugs, alcohol, or food, it's never enough. It's never enough when we try to control things or have compulsions in people. We could have 100 people under our control and want 200 people, or whatever it is. We can make $1 million, we want $2 million. And the difference is, and the way we know that is because, we can't control these things. And people, no matter how successful they are, a lot of them are very, very upset about life. And they can't, and once you get successful, it's harder, as they say, to enter the kingdom, because then you relate to success. If you liked the video so far, press the like and subscribe button. So, and they say when these traumas and bad things happen in life, be grateful, right? A lot of people come into meetings and say, I'm grateful, I'm a drug addict, I'm an alcoholic. Why do they say that? Because they had to finally surrender. They hit bottom and started to realize real joy. So, in the relationship to the food, it's the same thing. And rejoice rejoice even in when you're failing at something. And I was saying that again with the diets, it's not about rejoicing. It's about controlling, taking the self-will back into control. And we know where that gets us. Our best thinking got us here. And why? After years and years in the program, and I hear people come into these 12-step meetings and they say, well, I'm trying to control this, or I have to say this to this person to figure out how to get people to like them, or to control, manipulate life. But step one says what? Even step one, after years, have we done step one? When we do step one and we're powerless, we don't have to worry anymore, be upset, because there's nothing we can do about it anymore. Step two said we had to be restored to sanity. My sanity thought that all of this food, or controlling it, all of these material things were the important things, or people, were important. So all of these things, so I had to be restored to sanity. And step three talks about the rejoice. To rejoice, and it tells us to let go. And innately, God created us to be happy, because the way we know this, when we let go of all of this nonsense and false thinking, it's really not true, and we get to the truth, will set you free and get centered and feel the indwelling God consciousness. Whatever religion or faith you're in, it's bringing God into your life, or being in the present. Even Eastern philosophies, and a lot of them, Western, we're all here. But meditation is all about letting go of the past, the future, just rejoicing in the moment. And we can't help. We're meant to be happy. That's the thing that I didn't understand. People say life is such a struggle at trying to figure it out. When you're upset, you're thinking of the self and the ego. You're blocking out what's called, we have in step 4, the defects of character, pride being number 1. Again, one of the 7 deadly sins, along with gluttony, lust, and all of these things, right? Anger. So greed all has to do with the self again. Greed has to do with the food addiction, right? We want more and more and more and more, thinking this material things are going to satisfy us. And one more thing, I want to end up on page 85 in the big book. It talks about the 6th sense. The 5 senses all related to our addiction, doesn't it? The sense of smell when we're cooking, or the sense of touch, taste, definitely, hearing, smelling, whatever it is. All of these 5 senses. So we rise above that. We're in what's called the 6th sense, or rock into the 4th dimension. We're all of these things in life. We're like a plane going over storm clouds, and we don't relate to it anymore. We're having to be insulated from all of this nonsense. And the thing that helps me is I realize when I'm upset, it's not true. When I worry about something, it's not true. All of these things that I think about in my mind, and that's when my best thinking got me here. That's thinking. We have the 9-step promise. We'll know serenity, the word serenity, and we'll know peace. That eluded me. My whole life I'd go read all these books on self-help, trying to figure it out. I never wanted to let go. This whole program is about, to me, and with our addictions and whatever it is, to finally understand, and this whole perception of this indwelling consciousness and God of our understanding all has to do with, to me, is letting go and getting out of the ego, the self, which really wasn't there when we were children, really young and so forth. We didn't develop that sense of the self. God gave us the intellect, but we misuse it, so to speak. So if you liked the video so far, press the like and subscribe button. Come to our free Zoom meeting. See info in description. Now back to our video. Here we are where we can have what's called a spiritual awakening. But many times, and for a long time, I didn't get it. And sometimes I speak to people. I say, I've been in the program 10, 20, 30 years. And they finally say, I get it, what it's all about. Once we get it and we understand and we work these steps, then whatever comes our way, any upset in life, and it says in here, meet calamity with serenity, because it's telling me that when I get upset about something, that I'm making that my higher power. And it's really not true. I love in the Bible where it says we came from dust, we're going to dust. And one of its deadly sins is pride, all related to the ego. But we have in what step 6 and 7 talks about humility. And when I surrender, and today during the day when I don't surrender, we have the beauty of these steps. We go to 10, 11, and 12. All I got to say is we have a solution. And it says here, to all our problems. All our problems. But when we get into remorse, shame, guilt, and get upset, we're back into that self-centered fear. And related to addiction with food, then we can't even feel when we're full, or we should have more or less food, or whatever it is. We get in the way of our thinking. Right? The mind and the body knows what to do when we get out of its way. We're back in our addiction, but when we always can start the day over. I love that phrase, because some people they'll go for what they call a slip. They call it day one. I don't believe in going back to day one, but the next 10 years they're out in their addiction again. Well, that's ridiculous. So no matter what you did yesterday or a minute ago, it has nothing to do with right now. We have the eternal present. And that's what very successful people with certain things in life, they failed. They did 10 things, they failed 9 times. But they picked themselves up. But if we don't just get back centered and read this program and do the steps and just be joyous, the day's starting, it's a new day. You'd be surprised how that works. And then slowly but surely you have the perception change, like I talk about with the water. It didn't happen in a minute, but this is God's clarity. This is the truth. Not the drinks you're drinking with 1,000 calories. Or the same with a salad. You go to some of these places, they put on a salad. A pound of salad is 100 calories by the time they're done. Look on the menu of some of these places, 1,200 calories. But the stuff they put on is junk. It's like as you put like mud in the gas tank of your car. You're putting mud and poison. By these corporations, understand where it comes from. When we talk about the allergy of the body, the alcoholic foods. The corporations purposely make these foods to get us addicted to them. So we understand the concept and could start with this. And if we stay away from the refined and processed foods, we'll enjoy vegetables, broccoli, kale, and spinach. It's the way it was meant to be. We also have a perception change. And then all of a sudden we enjoy the foods. And also we don't have to always get our happiness and joy out of a material thing we're lusting after, whether it's money, sex, food, gambling, whatever it is, alcohol, drugs. I like to use the term spiritual bread. We can eat spiritual bread all day. What do we have to eat all of this material bread for? Spiritual. Actually, it's called the sixth sense, or being rocketed into another dimension. But you know what's interesting? All of life's related to our addiction to food, and the food is related to everything in life.